GT Youth, what is going on? My name is Pastor Cameron. I am a worship pastor here in Orland Park, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. Please don't be offended by my hat. I have to wear it because people from the church bought it. And how many know you just got to make some friends in new places? So that's where I'm at. My wife and I, her name's Lindsay. We just moved here November 1st, 2021. So we're going on month 6 being here. God's doing some awesome things. Just turned 30 years old on January 31st. So I'm feeling old. These gray hairs are proving it. But I'm just so thankful for this opportunity. Anthony and Danae, I love you guys. Miss serving with you in ministry. You guys have some of the best pastors that you're under. So if you think, should I invite my friend to church? The answer is yes, because you have some of the best leadership, kind-hearted, most organized, loving people I've ever served with in ministry. But I want to share my story, my testimony with you from birth till 20 years old. I lived at home, great parents, grew up in church. Life was good. I went to college to be an accountant, worked at the Metro Airport as an accountant for 3 years after I graduated from college. Then I worked in the power sports industry. I sold four-wheelers, motorcycles, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, all the fun stuff. And this whole time, from high school on, I was chasing a dream of making a certain amount of money. I feel like sometimes I was the rich young ruler in the Bible. I felt like many times it was in what I had, what I wore, the things that I had for possession, so I could just show other people. Not that I wanted to be better than anybody, but I just wanted to have nice things. And at 25 years old, from 25 until 30, the Lord has done a phenomenal thing in my life. And that, in short, is simply this. My identity doesn't come from the things that I have. It doesn't come from how much money that I make, the house that I live in, the kind of car that I drive. But my identity really comes from the Lord. And at 25 years old, I began to feel and sense the Lord wanting me to finally step into full-time ministry. So I worked on staff with Pastor Anthony and Danae. I had always worked part-time on staff, leading worship, been a youth pastor, and done that. From about 20 years old on, I've been in part-time ministry. But in 2019, I got a phone call that was totally unexpected. I'm 27 years old at this point. And a guy on the phone named Randy Don Giovanni, he had 800 kids in his youth group at Grand Rapids First Assembly of God. He's 64 years old now. He's a great mentor, great youth pastor. But he called me and said, I don't think you know me, but there's a spot open for ministry, and I really believe this is where God has you. And when I was making great money in the power sports industry, my flesh quickly rose up and said, I don't think I could go from making $90,000 to $100,000 a year to $40,000 a year, but went to my wife, said, I think the Lord's calling me into full-time ministry. And he was. So we accepted the offer, this huge pay cut. It was a faith move. Anthony and Danae helped us pack and drive across the state of Michigan to Whitehall, Michigan, right by Lake Michigan. And it was a great place to live. We got there 5 weeks into it. The lead pastor who just hired us said, hey, we are moving to Chicago, Illinois. And how many know that that was uncomfortable for me and Lindsay? We just had sold a bunch of stuff, moved across the state, hoping to be with this guy for 3 to 5 years. But the Lord pulled us out of our comfort zone. The Lord will pull you out of your comfort zone. He'll pull you from places that make you feel like everything's just going great to really align you with your destiny and your call. And that's what God did. He didn't have us move to Whitehall, Michigan for any other reason than to pull us out of the things that made us feel comfortable. And there's an assignment in front of some of you guys right now in your schools, as you're graduating high school, going into college, and you're getting ready to be pulled out of comfortable situations. You're getting ready to have things change in the natural, but the Lord is doing that so he can really do something spiritually in your life. So in 2019, I had this whole identity crisis. I move. I don't make the money that I used to, and now the guy that just hired me is gone. Tough. So I began to ask the Lord, why would you bring me to this place? And then my boss leaves. And the Lord told me, he said, I didn't direct Jesus to Samaria because it was the easiest route, but it was the necessary route. How many know sometimes point A to point B might include 3 or 4 steps? And that's what the Lord was doing to me and Lindsay, to try to prove to us that he's ultimately in control. So 6 months later, October 2019, we moved back. We take an assignment for full-time youth ministry, and we were associate pastors. And in those 2 years, we obviously faced the pandemic, COVID-19. It was crazy. But there were so many things that we learned in this season, just about people in general, about ministry in general. And this doesn't apply to if you just get called into ministry. It helps you with everyday decisions. And really, if you can always stay intimate with the Lord in those valley seasons, those hard places, God can really use it. So what I'm saying this in short is, I'm now in Chicago as a result of many steps that God had to take me through in order to get here. I look back and it seems like a valley. But the thing about the valley place is simply this. The shepherds always went ahead of the sheep to prepare the ground, to prepare for them to be able to eat. They would plant minerals. They would get rid of poisonous plants. And I can tell you that wherever you're headed, God has already gone before you and prepared a way. So you may be a teenager thinking, I don't know what's next for me. Can I challenge you to go after God greater? Can I challenge you to praise louder? Can I challenge you to read your word? Can I challenge you to be in God's presence? Because if we're ever looking for direction, it'll always be given in a moment with the Lord. So love you guys, praying for God's absolute best for GT Youth. Be blessed. Love y'all.